Rambam
All right, ladies and gentlemen, happy Hanukkah. Chag Sameach. Happy almost New Year's. Thank you all for coming out tonight. You can all come on in a little closer. Huddle together. It was a little warmer earlier. We were up in Revere lighting the menorah like it was summertime. Yeah. It was amazing. And usually I keep my remarks at these very brief because everybody's freezing cold. But tonight I think I can relax into my regular length sermons. So.
No. Where are the chairs?
It's such a wonderful gathering every year, coming together right here in the heart of Chelsea, together with the entire Chelsea Jewish community, the Walnut Street Synagogue, Temple Emmanuel. We're happy to join together with Tobin Bridge Chabad every single year to put on this event and to spread the light of Hanukkah, the warmth of Hanukkah, the joy of Hanukkah to the entire community. Because that is the essence of Hanukkah, is to take what goodness and warmth and positivity we have inside of us and that we cultivate in our homes, and we go to the window, we go to the door, we go out into the public square to celebrate and share that light. Like I always say, when you're outside and it's cold, you have two options. First option is to insulate yourself, to put on a really, really warm coat and a hat and gloves and stay warm, right? Or go inside and stay warm. But insulating yourself only helps you. It helps you stay warm and helps you get out of the cold. But what about everybody else? All right, so there's the second option, which is to light a fire. And when you light a fire, anybody around who is out in the dark and is looking for light, or who's feeling cold and is looking for warmth, can come and warm themselves by the light of the fire. And not only that, but once they're nice and warm inside, they can light a torch from that fire without diminishing that fire at all and go and share that and make another fire elsewhere where someone else or some other group is in need of light and warmth in their lives. And of course, on Hanukkah, we use these metaphors, the fire, the flame, light, and warmth, to signify goodness and kindness and positivity. And the darkness and the cold that exists in the world, is a metaphor all too often for sadness, for pain, for suffering that is out there in the world. And sadly, in today's day and age, there are so many people who are out in the dark, who are in the cold, so to say, who are looking for goodness and looking for kindness and looking for warmth. And those of us who are blessed to have that in our lives, it's important. It's upon us to share that with other people, to light that fire outside, not just to insulate ourselves, but to share that goodness and kindness and positivity with others. And this came home for me this year because something I shared last year at a Menorah Lighting, just an inspirational thought that I wasn't sure if anybody was listening. I stand up here and I do my little talk and I give my sermon, and I know everybody says they're listening, but anyway, there was a certain individual, you know this story already. There was a certain individual who was at one of the Menorah Lightings, and when I invited her to the Menorah Lighting this year, she said she couldn't come. She's had a very, very, very difficult year. She was dealing with some darkness in her life. And she told me that idea that I shared last year stayed with her the entire year, and at her darkest moments, when she couldn't see light or the possibility of light and thought of giving up completely, she repeated to herself that idea, those words that I shared last year. So she texted me, she said, just in case you think that what you share at the Menorah Lightings doesn't matter, you should know that it does. And it carried me through this year. So that idea just in very short, is the miracle of Hanukkah that we celebrate. We celebrate, of course, the miracle of the Maccabees, the few Maccabees defeating the mighty Assyrian Greek army and driving them from the land. And we celebrate the miracle of the oil that lasted for 8 nights. Okay? Therefore, we have 8 candles on the menorah, aside for the middle shamish, which we use to light the others. And we celebrate for 8 nights. And for those of you who are familiar with the story, there's a glaring question right there in the story, which is, they found enough oil to last for 1 night, and it lasted for 8 nights. So how many nights of miracle do you have? You have 7 nights of miracle. So this should be a 7-day holiday, not an 8-night holiday. What is the miracle that we celebrate on the first night? What is it all about? Why celebrate for 8 nights? And like I shared, like in the Talmud, when you ask a question like this, there are 100 answers or more. There's actually a book of answers to this question, and there are more than 100 answers to it. One answer is the miracle was that they found the oil, right? Because they had to search for the oil. It took a very long time. One explanation is that they rationed the oil to be able to make it last for 8 nights, but they only put enough in the menorah every night to last for an hour or 2, and it lasted all night. Another way of answering the question. But the answer that I saw that touched me the most and that I shared last year at the Menorah Lighting was the miracle was a very, very human miracle. It was a miracle of human hope and perseverance, because faced with the darkness that the Maccabees faced upon returning to the temple and finding it desecrated, and finding that their tool for bringing light into the world had been taken from them deliberately. Those flasks of oil were smashed by the Greeks in an attempt to prevent them from lighting the menorah. You can imagine that faced with that kind of darkness, they may have just given up. They may have said, why even bother lighting the menorah when we don't have more oil? We won't have oil for 8 days. Let's just throw in the towel. Right? We want to do good, but the tools for doing good have been taken from us. Let's just give up. But they didn't give up. And that's the miracle. The miracle of the first night was that they said, we're going to light it anyway. Why? There is no why. It doesn't make sense. Tomorrow night it's going to be dark again. But they had faith. And when they had that faith and they displayed that faith by doing what they could, by lighting the menorah, that's when the miracle of Hanukkah happened. So it was the miracle of the first night, the miracle of faith and hope, that allowed for the miracle of the last 7 nights. And that's what I think we need to contend with in today's day and age, where the darkness feels overwhelming. And every good action that we do, we ask ourselves, is it even worth it? Right? If I can do a good thing today, but tomorrow it's just going to be dark again, there's going to be more pain and more suffering in the world, what's it even worth? And what Hanukkah comes to teach us is that light defies logic. It defies the rules of nature. We need to have irrational faith in the power of light and goodness and kindness to overpower darkness.
Amen.
There is no equation. There's no way that I can make it make sense for you, because it transcends logic. I shouldn't say it's irrational, because that sounds like it's lower than our rational thought. It's super irrational. It's above and beyond the capacity of our minds to comprehend, but we need to have faith in it and believe in it and take action based upon that faith to do good, to bring light into the world no matter what. And that's when miracles happen. So as we light the menorah, we sing the songs, and we enjoy the delicious food, I want you all to think about that and think about what you can do to cultivate that faith in your own heart, and then to share that faith with others. What mitzvah can you do? What good action, an act of goodness and kindness, bringing someone close, giving someone a hug, picking up the phone and calling someone who needs that light in their life? And add that to your list of New Year's resolutions. Like I was saying earlier in Revere, get the gym membership, make a resolution to wake up earlier than ever, read all those books on your reading list, make all of those resolutions that cultivate goodness in yourself, because that's important too, right? Do all of the things for yourself, but don't forget about lighting that fire on the outside. Doing good things, bringing light and warmth into the lives of others. And that's the resolution I want you to think about tonight. How is 2025 going to be different in your capacity to spread light and goodness and kindness around you? I'd like to call upon, in order, both of our community partners, Mr. Eddie Medros, the president of the Walnut Street Synagogue, representing his congregation here tonight, to share a few words.
Thank you, Rabbi. It's very difficult to follow you, so I'll be brief. It has been a difficult year for all of us for what has taken place overseas and the rise of anti-Semitism, but we have to be strong and rise above the occasion. And as the rabbi said, look at kindness, helping others, and doing mitzvahs that will make us feel good. And so I thank all of you for coming. Happy holiday, Hanukkah, New Year, and let's go forward for next year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And representing Temple Emmanuel and the beautiful contingent here tonight, Cantor, Rabbi Oksana Chapman.
Hagurim Sameach. Can you hear me? Okay. Happy Festival of Lights. Even though I see many of you just once a year, I always look forward to this event. Thank you, Rabbi Sruli, for creating this year after year and for your patience, and thank you. Hanukkah reminds us that even in the darkest times, a little light can go a long way. While our ancestors fought off the Greeks, today we are fighting off the trolls and worse. With a mix of chutzpah, humor, and an endless supply of latkes. Anti-Semitism may rear its ugly head, but so do we, with courage, resilience, and occasionally a well-placed kvetch. After all, you can't extinguish a people who know how to turn oppression into an A-day celebration and guilt-free chocolate coins. So this Hanukkah, let's rededicate ourselves to the enduring fight for justice, unity, and the undeniable truth. We'll always outlast hate, one candle at a time. Happy Hanukkah, and let there be peace in the world.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much. I would like to mention, before we light the menorah, the love and support from City Hall every single year for the past 8 years. Our city manager, Mr. Fidel Maltez, could not be here tonight due to the holiday schedule. However, he has been instrumental in putting this menorah lighting together from the very beginning. He was my first contact at City Hall when we wanted to get this menorah placed here in the square, and he's been encouraging ever since. Happy to call him my neighbor as well. And he sends his warm wishes and regards to everyone here. I also like to extend our heartfelt thank you to the Chelsea Police Department for their support and for being here tonight. Thank you very much. And without further ado, we're going to light the menorah. First, we're going to sing 2 blessings. If you know the blessings, please sing along with us. If you don't, hum along with us. Okay? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim avoteinu bayamim hahem b'zman hazeh.
There we go.
All right, please stick around for some music, meet your friends, meet your neighbors, and please head over to the refreshments table for some delicious jelly donuts, hot latkes, and chocolate gelt. If anyone doesn't have a menorah at home and would like a menorah to take home and light tonight and the next 2 nights of Hanukkah, please help yourself. They're on the table there, the blue boxes that say menorah on them. They're for you, free of charge. Thank you all for coming out, and have a happy Hanukkah.
Thank you. Yes, they do indeed. Oh, it's okay, it's okay. He gets nervous when people like lean over him. Here, let me get a picture of you in front of the menorah with him. Like here. Oh my God, we're so
She was in Hanukkah.